Yo, we're gonna get into a $4,000 live closing call, but first there's a few things that you need to know.
Danny is our remote closer today, and he's selling a sales training offer to Mikey. Now, Mikey is the owner of a detail shop with dreams of having a detail shop in every state of America. Only problem is that when he tries to sell his products, clients say things to him like, "It's too expensive," or "I don't see the value in doing this at all." Danny's job is to be able to have Mikey realize that the only way to get his dream of owning a large detailing chain is by purchasing his $4,000 sales training program. Will he do it, or will he crumble under the pressure? Find out next.
If you don't know who Danny Molta is, he's the guy who trained me in sales for like 3 years. I've probably wired this guy $60,000 in payments so that this guy can get me to where his level is. Danny's a character, to say the least, and he'll use some crazy persuasive tactics on you to make you reevaluate not just whether or not you want to buy this program, whether or not you like men, whether or not, you're white. He'll have you reevaluating all sorts of core beliefs that you thought you had believed. Core beliefs that you thought you had believed. That makes sense. I'm going to be watching this call live through my laptop that is just in front of me, and you're going to see my live reaction.
Hey, Mike, how are you, brother?
Hey, what's up, Danny? What's going on, bro?
Man, just being the boring guy over here as usual. Just trying to stay out of trouble, trying to keep the girlfriend happy. You know how it is.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
Yeah, you know the show. So, hey, I saw that you scheduled with us about possibly getting like some advanced sales training or help possibly with. I guess. What was it about that? Because most people I talked to has been following him for quite some time. I guess what was it about that attracted your attention?
His marketing,
Okay.
for sure. The marketing tactic. And I saw basically a lot of the like reels and shorts and ads that I was seeing where like they were pretty much hitting home. Like we have our sales scripts and.
In what way would you say? In what way would you say?
Well, so basically, like they were kind of like where we are. Like we have sales scripts and stuff, and we're handling objections and stuff. But I feel like based on what I saw, and I joined the group too, and what they were talking about, is how to handle objections, but more or less how to make it the customer's idea. Make it their decision to move forwards, and using I don't know if the correct word is psychology, but I know NEPQ is something along the lines of that, and it's basically. From my understanding, it's controlling the conversation the way that you want it to go. Consciously.
Help me understand this, Mikey, from this perspective, just so I can see where you're at, to see if we could potentially help you, or if this might be the time for you, though. Where, when you say like where they are, like what did you mean by that specifically, though?
Where who is?
Like where you guys are.
Oh, so I just hired a salesperson to take my position handling and managing phone calls and incoming inquiries and leads. And
What is it that you do?
We're called the Detail Shop. We specialize in tint and automotive protection. So basically tint, PPF, and paint coatings.
Okay, how long have you guys been doing that for?
We're going on year 5.
Okay, and then in the paint coatings and everything, the detail shop, because I'm not too familiar with the space. Somewhat I am.
You notice how Danny says okay? He's like, okay, okay, okay.
There's a construction and like a bunch of different other home service improvement businesses, type services like that. Now, when it comes to your guys specifically, like what's usually like the sales cycle or sales process that you kind of like walk somebody through to go from like a potential client to like an actual paying customer with you?
So we're advertising Google with landing pages. That's our primary source of leads. Basically, a lead would come in. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to call them and try and touch base with them. If we don't get a hold of them, we call 2 or 3 more times until we get a hold of them. Otherwise, we abandon the sale. Is that what you were looking for, the answer?
Yeah, so like the leads in that you're coming in, are they like more high intent?
So the reason why he's asking that question is, again, because the offer is a sales offer. So Danny is probing for potential problems that they might be having inside of their current process.
And this is rather recent. So in the past month and a half or so is when I hired my sales guy, which has allowed me to work on the business rather than in it.
Okay, so then previously, before, like you kind of managing all the parts, you weren't able to make enough income to kind of support the growth of the business the way that you wanted to, in the direction you wanted to go.
Yeah, for the most part, yes, you could say that.
So like the processes and everything that you guys were missing, like that was causing you to kind of lose out on like sales, like you were mentioning, though.
It made me lose out on the opportunity to advertise on Facebook.
Right. So that extra money, now that you have the people coming in, right? Because now that you guys can actually expand, which congratulations, by the way, like it's not an easy step. Like I've had my own business personally, so like I know how challenging it is to get over that step. And now, like I'm sure that you're aware, it kind of comes with like a new territory comes with a new mindset.
Correct. Yep.
Right. So in order to kind of continue to keep getting the next level, we got to continue leveling up in our head, because if we don't, then like we just stay stuck in the past with where we're at.
Yes. So to go along with that,
So Danny just did something called framing, okay? He's framing a belief that this guy is subconsciously believing now. With a new territory comes a new mindset. And he just said yes to that, which is going to allow Danny to go in there more easily and challenge his mindset and say, hey, whoa, You're the one that told me that you're going to have to change your mindset if you want to expand into new territory. And buddy, the mindset shift you have to make is you have to buy $10,000 to be successful.
Correct. Yep.
Right. So in order to kind of continue to keep getting the next level, we got to continue leveling up in our head, because if we don't, then like we just stay stuck in the past with where we're at.
Yes. So the goal.
Yeah, and then same thing right there. You just said it again. It's like we gotta continue leveling up, or else we're just gonna be stuck in the past. So he's already kind of like adding in these little frames for him of like growth and change.
Along with that, my call yesterday was with Elite CEO. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
I've been in the space for a bit. Is that Tanner Chester or something?
Yes, Tanner Childish, or yeah, him.
Yeah, I met him before in Florida. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, so he's more or less they have like a more one-to-one approach coaching setup. And what I'm looking to do, basically, let me tell you where my head is and where my goals and my direction is. My goal has been basically to become the marketer of my business. Now that I have people in place and systems, for the most part, most systems are operating. They need improvement, especially the sales side. So that's why, I'm reaching out to you guys. I think it's the most important thing is marketing and sales.
When you say improvement, what do you mean? Like processes, or what do you mean by that?
I mean, yes, exactly. Improving the processes and making them work better. I know they're not perfect, and nothing is ever perfect. But if I can improve them and increase my closing ratio, which is at roughly 47% already, just off Google, that's me, not my sales guy. But as a company, if I can increase that and make our potential reach further, I believe that I can meet my goal next year, which is to have a second location and a third location.
Okay, I'm writing this all down because he just gave a crap ton of information that you as a closer, you are writing this stuff down. He just basically gave like his like dream scenario, which is he wants to have a second and third location, and the way in which he believes he's going to go about getting there is by increasing his closing percentage from 47%, which is already fucking high. Danny's probably going to challenge that and be like, buddy, you don't really need to do that. You need to do the second thing here, which is what he said. I need to increase my reach. I need to spend more on advertising, on marketing, on ads. And then he believes if he does those two things, he'll get his dream of a second and third location. I bet you Danny later in this call then goes deeper and deeper and says like, what will a second and third location give to you personally though? More like, is that going to give you more money for more time with the wife and the kids? And like, that might be the business goal, but he's going to find out later what the personal goal is. So right now though, he's got really good information about Mikey already in the first 9 minutes.
So my goal this month is to become the marketer of my business and improve our sales process and system in order to be able to advertise with Facebook and better advertise on Google.
Okay. So brother, like I can tell, like just because I've been in your shoes before, ranting that, a little bit of nerves, right? Because it's like you're expanding for the first time from one shop to now to the next. So it's like, okay, like who do I need to be to actually get the results that I want to get?
Yes, exactly.
I totally get where you're coming from because I've been in your shoes, right? So can I make a suggestion for you?
Absolutely, man. Of course.
So the growth that you're looking to have now is going to come from a place of like leadership and where you're coming from.
Can I make a suggestion? Yes. They're going to be like twice as likely now to listen to what you're saying.
So in a company, the leader can't be scared to actually make a mistake, or it can't be in scarcity. The leader always needs to be in abundance. So that way your team can also be in abundance, meaning that they're confident and certain in the process that you're doing because they know that you're doing what is necessary to win.
Yes.
Right. The biggest thing that holds back a lot of small businesses, like from expanding, is the old mindset of that money is scarce. That they don't have enough money, they don't have enough time. So
now he's implanting a suggestion in him that's like,
hey, this is a terrible mindset to have. The bad mindset you don't want to have is that money is scarce.
like, I can tell by talking to you, you're a really go-getter type of guy and like getting after it. Like I can tell, brother, because I don't really sleep that well either. So I totally get it, man. I'm running off 6 hours sleep with you right now with you here, right?
Same, bro. I was up all night working on it.
I'm on the same page with you, right? So I totally get it. So now you getting to that next level, that second and third location, it's going to come from you expanding with the cold traffic though.
Yes.
Right. And here's my concern. My concern is that like I know that you reached out to us for sales, but if you don't have some sort of process in place, even if it's not with us, then you're not going to be able to actually expand and close those extra deals because your salespeople won't be as confident as you are in your process. They never will be. So you need to lead. You need to have that leadership first and come from a place of, okay, how can I make them as comfortable as possible, as like you are with me right now on this call?
Okay.
That congruency.
Can I repeat back to you what you're saying so I can make sure that I understand where you're coming from? And by processes, do you mean a sales script? Or like a process from start to beginning, from when the lead comes in to the time they drop off the car and come and pick it up.
So fill me in on this, right? When you guys did run that cold traffic, where did you drop off? Like, where did you lose them? I know you said education, but like, where did you feel like you lose them in the sale?
I think that we lose a lot of customers in the sale when they either don't see the value in our service or they think the price is too high. Those are our two biggest things because, yeah. So what I wanted to reiterate is is when you say processes, we do have a process in terms of when the customer, when we get a new lead, to calling them, to following up with them,
Talk
to
about this real quick because that's important. Like we'll get to that in a moment, in a second.
Prospect just said like what he thinks is the problem in his business. This is the only thing I have written down for the problems right now in his business. Price is too high. Prospect doesn't see the value. And that's what's killing conversions on sales calls. So I bet you now Danny's going to dig into that more, and he's either going to just find out more where that comes from, or he's going to press deep and be like, how does it feel to be losing conversions? He probably won't do the feeling thing here, but he'll probably find out more about it.
Second here.
I just wanted to make sure I'm on the same page with what you mean by process.
Yeah, you're good, brother. Like when you say don't see the value in price, like what usually happens in that call? Where like you feel like, I guess, what do you feel like you say or don't say that causes them or makes them or triggers them to feel like that there's not enough value or it's too expensive?
Right, so he's digging in deep here. He's just fact finding here to identify where the problem actually is.
You feel in your own eyes, and I can tell you.
So I would say, so there's I'm going to use 50-50. 50% of the people that are contacting us already know what we sell, what it does, and why they want it. The other people that are calling in, we're educating them and teaching them what the product is, and they don't, when we give them the price of the product or service, the first thing we say is, so that way you're not sticker shock. We preface it by that and then follow on to educate them about the product. After we give them the price, it's usually an objection that we get of, all right, I need to think about it, or I need to discuss with my wife.
When you educate them, do you allow them, like, how do you allow that process to happen? Like what usually happens though? Like you just kind of tell them like how it works, or like what's it usually look like?
No, we have a specific sales script for each service. The paint protection film, this is our highest paying service. And this is the service that we have the most trouble selling consistently. And leads right now are most expensive, costing.
I appreciate how open you are too, by the way, brother. Super good. It says a lot about leadership, so I really like it.
I read a lot of books, man. My goal is to open up detailing shops in every single state and create a franchise. And there is no such thing yet. So I see the opportunity to. We pride ourselves in that, and we actually talk about it in part of our closing portion of our script.
Yeah, I can tell, brother, because when you're talking about reason why I ask is when you're talking about the business, the 50-50, I can tell the people that don't buy from you, I could see that you take it personally. Right. So like I can tell, right? I've been in your shoes. So this is why I want to share with you like a different perspective. And I want to know like what's happening in sales. Because sometimes like the reason like why Tony Robbins and all these top guys know that you read about in the books and everything, the reason why they always talk about having a coach, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know and you can't see what you can't see.
Yes, exactly.
So
Mikey mentioned that he reads books, and Danny is using that as an in to be like, and all those guys like Tony Robbins that you read about, the reason why they're so successful and they have all this abundance is because they were able to pay money for a coach. So he's suggesting, if you want to be like Tony Robbins, pay money for a coach. And who's the coach you want to pay for? Us.
Having a different perspective of having a coach who can be that leader, who's been there, done that for you, is what will allow you to actually get those 2 to 3 extra shops and get the detailing. So let's look at the sales script first, and then we'll talk about programs and everything later. I just want to see how we can help with you right now immediately in this.
Sure, absolutely. So every one of our scripts begins with the same introduction, which is.
So now the thing with you, brother, like let's take out this. You have your phone with you.
Yeah.
So like you're at 43%, which is good for you. Now let's imagine though you have other closers who come in. Right? They won't close as high as you. Right? That's just a fact. That's a given. Okay. So then if they're close half of what the script that you have now, that we know is triggering that resistance, like based off what you were mentioning to me, how many deals do you feel like we're going to lose? And how can we scale?
Half.
I'm truly not sure how to answer that question.
Right. So now suddenly think about it like this. We'll do some basic math. Let's say, for instance, you get 10 people, and instead of closing 40%, if it was you probably would have closed 80% if you had the right words. Now, there's a rule of thumb that Tony always has in Business Mastery that he talks about. When a business owner switches from a small business to hiring his first salespeople, the close rate usually drops by half. Because the new sales rep is brand new, he's not as certain as you, and he has to build a team and a culture until he gets like fully comfortable in the process now with me. So key thing that we always look at here is at close rate, if you're at 40, where do you feel like it's going to go based off what Tony says, doing billions of dollars?
20%. It's going to go in half.
It's going to go to half, right? So what's your average detailing? How much money you usually make, if you don't mind me asking?
Our average detail, I would say between 300 to 400. It's our lowest ticket item.
Okay, 300 to 400.
Yes.
And how do you profit on that?
I would say about 50%.
Okay, so let's say 300 for conservative, so 150. So then those 8 deals that you're going to lose out on, because if you take a call volume of 10, right, with me. So what's 8 times 150?
$1,000 something, right?
$1,000, and that's if they take 10 calls per week.
Right.
Right. So how many weeks have you been in business?
Weeks? Oh, I couldn't. Years. Almost 5 years.
So 5 years. So let's say $1,000 is 1,000. How many weeks in a year?
52 times 5. 250 weeks.
So that's about 250-ish,
260, right?
260 is the amount of money. That's the conversation we're having here of how much money you've lost.
Right.
Now let's talk about how much you could potentially earn, because now we want to go to 2 to 3.
Danny was always so good at being able to quantify the loss in terms of a monetary figure. I was never able to do that as well as him. So take notes on this because yeah, it's genius when you're really able to just demonstrate to a business owner the exact number that they're missing out on by not having the product or service that you are selling.
3 locations.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so let's have a plan here, of a structure, right? Let's talk about the program. So this is when we would go into, like, we have the 3.0, 2.0, based off everything you said. I feel like what we do would actually work for you, right? Because I know how you were mentioning that, like, in your sales structure and process that you have right now is currently making you feel like, you know, it's not really structured. You want to have more sales reps come on. And so because that, you don't want to lose those deals like what happened with Facebook in the past.
Yes.
Because if we don't learn from our mistakes and repeat them, and Albert Einstein always says that's, like, you know, it's kind of insane. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So what we give you, right, is there's 3 programs that I really want to share with you. Mikey, is like we have the NEPQ Inner Circle, which you need to have the foundational proof, like to actually have the 2.0 and everything in place. So I don't recommend it because it's usually around like 30K.
Okay.
Too much. You got to know the foundations first. If you don't mind me asking you, brother, like just kind of quick side bit. I know you want to open 2 to 3 locations, but be real with me. Like money aside and everything, why though? Like I know you want to be the best, but like why? Why do you really want to be the best?
Hold on a sec. My whole outlook when I started this, I used to work at a tire shop and I was a salesperson there for nearly 12 years, but the sales was completely different. And the one thing that we always learned was that the customer comes first. And once upon a time, I would have my car details and to inquire about the services that I had no idea about. And I moved from detailing to tint to high-end PPF, and I saw an opportunity to make more money by focusing on a higher ticket item.
So now, like, with everything that you want to do with the business and then us getting to 2 to 3 locations, like let's go back into like the process and everything, right? Because I know that now you really believe in it. It gives me a much better insight. Because me, you know, personally, like I've run like other companies before. Like I've scaled when I was 22, I scaled a company to 8 figures because of Jeremy Miner's training and everything, right? So I come with like a product of the training and it did good results. So I believe so heavily in it. So I think it would be good for you. So let's talk about this real quick because I know based off what you've kind of lost for the processes of kind of losing out on money, especially because yes, you've been taking a $600 a week paycheck. I totally get it. But here's the thing, as an owner and as a business owner, eventually it comes to a point where you work so hard, you deserve a little bit more of the money. I know you want to put it into the business because you value it so much, but yeah, at the end of the day, you need to have some more money to live on. Right?
I don't have the shiny object syndrome.
So important thing to note here is that whenever you're doing sales, you can do a logical sell or you can do an emotional sell. I don't know who said it, but someone said it best when they said like logical sellers can sell with emotion, but emotional sellers can't typically sell with logic. So you want to ideally put yourself as a logical seller. More people will buy that way. However, Danny just asked an emotional sales question. He's trying to get to the root of like, why do you actually want to grow? Why do you want this money? What is that going to do for your life? And although this guy didn't really give the answer of like my family and my kids and this, he might get into that more later, and you can see he really expanded on his business and why he's doing what he's doing. So he's kind of cracking open the shell a bit more, maybe for a future question to ask him the exact same thing so that he can get some emotional buy-in into this offer.
Man, I'm happy with everything that I have in life. And my only goal is to just expand business because my ultimate goal, which is basically to have and offer one-to-one coaching on how to start a detailing business from your garage to make. And so basically, you know, it's in my pipeline of goals here is to create a coaching course. And that's why I was on the phone call yesterday with elite CEOs is they want, you know, they offer to help me, you know, building my curriculum for this system. And, you know, basically want to help other people do what I'm doing by saying, you know, hey, look, you're in your garage, dude. I did it. I made 10 grand a month out of my house. You can do it too. Let me help you get there. And then, you know, it's a basic, it will be something basic, but it gives them the insight and the opportunity to potentially grow.
So you're looking to be that leader who leads, who goes first, who charges in first, gets the training, builds the companies, and then actually share and help other people do it.
Absolutely. I want to share the way that I did it with others so they can do it too. But at the same time, I want to continuously apply my own processes with other people. So when I say open up other locations, what I really mean is franchising is not the correct word. I don't know what the correct word is where it might be franchise. Chain is the right word.
Okay.
A chain is right. A chain is one owner or a group of owners, and it's there's a central headquarters that manages and supplies the products and service, you know, the products and the training and advertising for all of the other companies. That's what I want to do, and basically be able to open up a location. Let's say I go to New York. I want to open up a location in New York. I want to build a team that goes in there, runs a business. Then I want to have a general manager that can manage the location in New York, and so on and so forth. So maybe franchising is better. I don't know yet. I haven't gotten that far. It's long down the line, so I'm not trying to cross bridges that I'm not.
Let's talk this first, right? Let's take one step at a time because I think you have a really great vision. So now let's paint it so we can actually make it happen, right? Okay. So first thing I'd recommend is we have to get the sales coming in, right? So of course, so that way we can continue to actually grow and scale the business. So eventually we can expand it, and you can help more people, bring more people in the business, and really grow to the level that you want, right? So to have all the information you need here now with me, the key thing is like I always have the true recommendations that I have, right? So we have the NBQ Inner Circle, which I said 30K. Like that's when we want to get to $1 million, right? And you're out right now with 300K. Like I recommend like There's the NEPQ 3.0. But the problem that I always say with the 3.0 is this, like, it's super good training. The thing though is you don't have the base yet of understanding the process of how to really teach and train other people how to close those deals.
Correct. I don't know how
Right.
to be a salesperson.
100%, Mikey. So like the key thing that I want to give you, brother, is more importantly, I want to give you the mindset. You have the mindset of being a leader and being all in, right? I'm an all
Just a quick note, Danny is building a lot of authority here as a trusted salesperson by just saying like, hey, we've got this product that's 30K, but that's not really what you need because you need the foundations, and I'm not going to sell you on something you don't need.
all-in type of guy. That's why I've gotten to where I am today, and that's why, like, I've been able to take care of my family, take care of my folks, like, because my father had cancer this past year, and so because that, like, the income and everything I've made has allowed me to do that. Now that only came because I was a leader first, and I came first in my business, meaning that I went the first mile. I can't ask somebody to do something that I'm not willing to do myself.
Right.
And as a business owner, you can't ask someone to invest in your business unless you're willing to invest and be all in on yourself all the time. Because then you can't expect someone to do something that you're not willing to do, right? Then the program won't work. Does that make sense? So the 2.0 training is what I always recommend everybody to start. Because the 3.0 is 8K, the 2.0 is only 4K. Right.
Okay.
So that gives you the basis information of step one, how we get the
Wait,
processes
what?
in place. Because the 3.0 is 8K, the 2.0 is only 4K. Right.
Okay.
So that gives you the basis information of step one, how we get the processes in place, the information of how to open up the call, how to build a gap in the call, how to really be able to teach your other people and teach your other new salespeople who come on, how to build a script specifically for car detailing. So that way you have a plug-in process. Okay.
Yes.
As a business owner, you don't want to run ads, and then the ads you're running, your salespeople are saying different things.
Right.
That's how it gets messy. So in the 2.0, we give you a structured process. So they go step by step through it that allows the customer to come to their own conclusion of believing and seeing the value in your service. That's how we get rid of the time of the value objection. That's how we get rid of the price objection as well. You see how that works?
That's what I'm looking for. To learn
Right.
how if you're wondering why I'm looking at you like this, it's because the handbook says you drop the price and you shut up. Danny did not do that here. He did very casually drop the price, which was good, but I don't know. Talking like rapid fire like that after a price drop is not generally recommended.
how to build the sales process. Yes.
Right. So that's why I recommend you the 2.0. Right. So that's only 4K. That still gives you one training a week with Jeremy, where he'll coach you live. And then also it gives you the 12-week program of everything in the course of foundationally of what you need.
So by 12-week program, is that limited to precisely 12 weeks, or is that 12 weeks of, you could essentially say schooling, like you have 12 weeks?
Here's what I recommend, Mikey, if I can share a session. Do the 12 weeks first, get the foundation in place. Now we're going to go from 300K to usually by the end of the 12 weeks, if you're all in with it, which you seem like the type of guy who is, and if you have ads and everything still running from Google, like you said, your close rate's going to go from 43% to 60 to maybe even 70 of what I've seen in that 12-week time, right? Because you're a very all-in type of guy. So I believe that you can do it. Now, why we always recommend going to 3.0 after? The 3.0 is when you get coaching directly one-on-one. So this is where we really master the basics even further. This really gives you the foundational pieces in place to really scale for when you have the 2 to 3 to 4 locations. And let's say, for instance, you got to hire on more people. This allows them to get training. This allows them to get help, and you to be the professional, to be able to be the leader, to teach everybody how to overcome those objections. So they see the value in your service.
Right.
Not basing off price, you're basing off what you can give them, the experience and the information knowledge that you have.
Right.
So that's why we go from 2.0, help you to get through a 60% close rate, right? Close those extra deals. So instead of losing, the 500 grand you've lost, we start making additional 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 grand a month.
Got it.
Right. Then the 3.0, that's where when we start going to 2, 3 locations is the goal. We get in the 3.0 at the 2 locations. And then when we go for the 3 locations, we're starting to get in the coaching, then we get in the inner circle.
Right.
Right now
And
you're
above 3.0.
Yeah, that's the training that you get after you've gone through the other 2. That's where if you want to get your business to multiple 7 figures, your first 7 figures, that's where we go. Okay, so we got to start with the foundation though, because like as you know, all great buildings and all successful people start based off the foundation they have in place. You can't build a skyscraper without what?
The foundation.
Right? Unless it's gonna fall.
Yeah.
So that's why I say like get over those objections. I recommend the 2.0.
I think that's precisely what I am looking for, is because how can I train myself? Like you said, I have to be able to do it before I can be able to teach it and build that process. And just like every other service that we offer, I've learned how to do it. So that way, if there is a problem or I do need to train somebody, I can. Like I understand that.
I've done it before, brother, and this is what I highly recommend. Like this is how I scaled my business that I had at the time. From like we were a brand new startup, and we went from 0 to $1 million a month within 8 months.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Business or a product business?
It was so we were selling done for you like Shopify stores, done for you Amazon stores at the time.
Okay.
So super profitable for me. That was really good though. So this is what I always recommend. Is this something you want to move forward with, or how do you want to proceed, brother?
So I do want to move forwards with it, but before I say yes and go and pull out my wallet, I have to tell you that I have another phone call after this with my marketing agency, and I have another phone call with Elite CEO. Basically because Elite CEO, so they didn't really discuss what we're discussing right now, but we touched base on it. And what I told them, and same thing I'm going to tell you, is that I need to figure out who I need to prioritize with and which is more important. And I told them, and I'm telling you, I think my sales process and learning how to do the sales and getting that script that can make basically what you guys are offering, I believe is what I need. But I have to finish my other calls and my other due diligence before I say yes to anybody. So my decision is to be made by Friday. That's my goal, is after I've interviewed, a bunch of different people and had all my phone calls, is who do I think is going to be the best fit for me based on this conversation? Like what are we exactly? So I have some questions for you.
Can I help you out here?
Okay, so right here, the business owner is kind of giving like a hard objection of like, I got to do my due diligence of talking to everyone else first, which is, a fair play. Most of the time, what I would do is just like take some payment from him on the call, like call it 10% of the $4,000, and then close out the rest on the Friday or what have you. But let's see what Danny does here, because this is kind of a hard. If he was going to collect all 4,000 on this call, I would be highly impressed. But I don't know.
Okay, cool. So let me help you out here for a sec, right? Okay, so the sales and everything. Why do you feel like that is something that you need the most right now, though?
It's part of marketing, and it's the lifeblood of any business.
Really good fucking question. He's already said, yes, I want to buy it. Let's just reaffirm why you want to buy this.
Like, if you can't close deals and get deals in, you can't make money. So, if I can't continually increase my sales and make sure that we're capturing every single or as many possible leads as we can, how can I teach that to somebody else to also do the same thing? I can't, because if I'm not the best, I need to be the best at it so that way I can be able to teach the next guy.
Right. And so, brother, being the best always comes from this. Like, there's always two different types of leaders, right? Like, there's the one that notices what he has to do and he says, okay, I push it off to the next day. And there's one that notices what he has to do and he does it, right? Like, what do you feel like the difference is between, like, let's say guys like Tony or Warren Buffett and those guys, or Jeff Bezos, some of these big guys who know they have to do something and they see it and they do it, versus the other guys out there who like really kind of they know they have to do something, but they don't really kind of see the value, don't really think they're the best because they're not taking actions like the best, like the rest.
Right.
What do you feel like the difference is between those guys, though?
What is the difference between somebody who knows what they need to do and somebody who's pushing it off? They don't want this badly.
Right. Why is that, though?
Well, I guess laziness, I would say, or just their motivation. They don't see value in it. Like, if you know you need to do something.
It all comes down to fear, brother, right? Because like we're all afraid at some level to make the wrong decision.
Right.
But in life, the wrong decision is not making one and pushing one off. Because then one day that's wasted is another day that's gone.
Right.
And in life, the difference between the guys who are at the top and the ones that are not, I realize that time is always more important than money.
Right. Absolutely.
So for you, man, the most important thing to think about is like, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail?
What would I do if I knew I couldn't fail?
Yeah.
Come on, this is so good. Like, this is where he's pushing. This is getting to the part of the sale where people like don't like it, like they don't want to do this part of the job. But he's telling him like, bro, the only reason you're gonna say no is because of your fear here. And what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? It's great. It's good.
So like with this program, like getting you everything that you wanted, of like getting the 2 to 3 locations, so that way you can like have a business where like you're proud of, you are that leader, to really be able to have the leadership of giving back to the community and being number one. Do you feel like it's something you're committed to doing? And
absolutely. That's why I'm on this call.
Why now though? Why not just push it off to later?
Because I need to do it now. I don't have time to waste. There's like,
the why now question is a question you can always whip out as like an urgency question. It's like, hey, let's reapply why we want to do this today and not on Friday.
You already said time is limited, and the longer I hold off on getting training in order to be better at what I need to do, it just doesn't make sense, dude. It doesn't make sense. Why would I wait? There is no waiting. There's no holdup of me deciding whether or not I need to do this. I know I need to do it. That's not the problem. The problem of me not getting.
I don't need to offend you in any way.
Oh no, you're not. I love this. Is a great conversation, man. Like, you're making me think. Like I like it.
So then, brother, what is it you feel like you need to do? So when you put your head on the pillow tonight, you know that you're doing everything you need to be doing to actually be number one and be the best. So that way you can get those 2 to 3 locations and deliver the best service and get over those price objections and not lose that $500,000.
I'll tell you what I do need to know. And this is the whole reason why I wanted to be on a call, is because I know what you guys. I have a general understanding of what the program is. What I really wanted to discuss is precisely what we're going to be doing in the program, because that's ultimately what my next 2 calls are about. What exactly are we going to learn, and is that exactly what I need to move to the next level?
Danny was like so close there. He was freaking close, but then now he's like, no, I want to know the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, which is a bad sign, because it's like if that when you're in this part of a close or this part of a call and they're asking for like detail stuff, that puts him away from a buyer mindset and puts him into a logical, detail-oriented mindset, and that's really going to end with them being like, I really need to think about this. This is a lot of information for me to consume.
I can share with you exactly what we can do. But let me ask you this: like, for instance, if I want to come in to get a detailing, I don't know anything about detailing. If you shared with me everything about all the ingredients that go in the detail and everything, does it really matter to me, or what am I really looking for?
The end result.
You're looking for the end result, right? So the reason why people come to us and why everybody in the street really likes us, what you mentioned, is because people are looking to double, triple their commissions or double, triple their business, so that way they can be the leader in that industry. So I can show you everything, but if you don't actually do it, it's like the guy who wants to go to the gym but he's not actually going, or the guy who wants to build a business but actually isn't building.
Right.
When you started the business, how much more did you learn versus reading about it in a book?
So much more.
Right. So like, if the real question is, brother, if you really want to get the results, you actually have to do it, because you have to be the guy who actually gets them, and that comes from a place of doing instead of thinking. Yeah, that's the difference between a professor and an investor. A professor is the one who teaches and he makes 100 grand a year. An investor is the one who doesn't. He makes $1 million a month.
Yeah.
So brother, what is it you feel like you need to do so that way you actually can get to the 2 to 3 locations, so you are that leader and being the best in the industry and actually growing this business the way that you want and the way that you said.
Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So like, are you committed to doing that now?
Yeah, that's why I'm on. That's why I'm having these calls, man. Because I need to move to the next level. I need to
So brother, like,
work on things.
there's a difference between saying and doing.
Right.
Right. That's why there's always 2 different types. That's why the professor investor. That's why you have the guy at the top and the guy at the bottom. So like, what is it you need to do now? Like, would you like to get enrolled in the program? I mean, you don't have to, so that you can actually get started to be number 1.
So I don't want to sound like a broken wheel either, but I have a commitment with other phone calls that I can't make a decision with anybody just yet, and my decision is to be made on Friday. So regardless, there's no trigger for me to pull today. My gun is not loaded, so I can't. Even if I was to pull the trigger, it's not ready to fire, because I have to load that gun up first. I have to get all my ammunition from all of my sources, interview the people that I'm talking to, and make that decision on Friday. I mean, you're gonna hear from me regardless on Friday.
Yeah, but with that,
Woo! Oh God! And then it's like the tension just rises. So you want to do it? Oh, drops back down. Oh, I'm feeling the tension drop. But do you see how, like, he asked that logical question, what's included A to Z, and Danny was like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. It's like, you don't need to know any of that shit. Which is true. Like, you don't. He made a good point. But you see the tension rise. He asked him the question, so he ready to do this today, and he hits him again with just a time objection, really. Like, I need to essentially think about it and my other sources of companies up until Friday, and then I'll make a decision on Friday. So it's just another time objection.
but that's not the issue though, right? Because then we're making it external instead of internal. For instance, who loads the gun to shoot it?
I do.
Right. So the bullets and everything are already there.
Right.
Now, who prevents them from actually doing it, or who prevents from actually taking the action necessary so they can actually either get the bear or get the trophy deer?
It's me.
It's you. Right.
Yeah.
So the bullets are already there, brother. The only one who's preventing you from doing it is you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So then, like, if you want to be the one at the top, and we knowing that time and everything that aside, like, that we can't do something that we're not willing to ask someone else to do unless we do it ourselves. Like, if someone came to you and said they wanted detailing, but you know they needed it now, and you knew that it was best for them, why would they wait? Why would you wait?
I wouldn't wait.
Right. So then do it.
I want to do it. But again, I need to have the other call with elite CEOs, because what they're offering me and what they're telling me is not a complete package of everything that I'm looking to do. And neither is what I believe this program is offering me. Yeah. So between them and between you, again, I need to prioritize where I can invest my time. Does that, if I'm going to sign up with you to do a 12-week course, how am I going to have enough time to work on what I'm doing with elite CEOs and prioritize which is more important? If that's going to take 12 weeks as well, how do I divide my time between investing into myself that much? Is it possible? Absolutely. It's definitely possible to do both. But I don't have enough information about what exactly.
Why is it possible? Why is it possible though?
Because I want it. That's why it's possible. I'll do whatever it takes to make sure that we grow and go to the next. I grow and go to the next level in order to make the business grow and go to the next level.
Oh, so he just got in there in the objection. He was like, his main objection is like, I can't do both things. I have to talk with him and wait till Friday. But then Mikey said one key thing. He said, of course, I could do it if I really wanted to. And instead of Danny just letting that pass by, he's like, really? Why could you do both?
But like I said, I know how important sales are. My goal is to build a better sales script.
Right.
But it's like, did the chicken come or the egg come first? Like, do you need what's more important, the marketing or the sales? It's so hard decision to make.
And I don't want to interrupt you here, brother, because I believe that you're 100% correct. To some degree, I agree to you, right? Now, what I will mention to you is that, like, based off what you're mentioning to me, like, based off what you're prioritizing, it's not so much as in the program that you're going to do, more so in the sense of the mindset of what you're going to do it with. Now, what I mean by that is this: like, when you actually go into a program and you do it, it's not so much in the sense that you're doing the program; it's more in the sense of like who you need to be to actually make the program work for you. Both programs are going to work, right? Now, it's not so much about the program; it's more so much in the sense of like where your focus is. Right now, you're focused on what program to do versus what's the outcome that you're looking to get, and that won't serve you best, right? So, what will is actually what you really want to have, which is why we get the sales, so that way you can actually grow the business to get to the 2 or 3 locations, so you can be number one.
So let me tell you.
And you see again, he's reaffirming the goals. It's like, why are we doing this in the first place? The 2-3 locations, great.
What I'm afraid about.
Tell me, because I can tell.
Okay, so what I'm afraid about is doing. I know how valuable both programs can be, but if I'm not ready to take on the amount of new leads and inquiries, I see the opportunity to lose those sales as well. You know, how long is it going to take me to set up my marketing and grow the business in that way by dividing my time between learning about marketing?
But right now, brother, if I may interrupt you, right now, the one key thing, because the way that we get ahead in business isn't really so much about what we do. It's more so in the sense how we think about how we see things and then what we do about it. Mm-hmm. So now, like, what I really want to help you with, right, and really want you to learn from this is when you said what I will lose. So right now, you're in the base of sense of scarcity, and this is why I mentioned this earlier, because I already saw it on you, because I've already been where you've been, and I've already done what you want to do. Now that's the only way that I know. So this is what I tell you to give you like direction of where to go. Are you okay with this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like right now, you're based off what you're going to lose, but me and you both know that you're already losing. You've already lost 500K.
Right.
So the reason why you've lost 500K is like, if we did this would be a different conversation. We did this 5 years ago, but now we're talking about what we're doing today. So now instead of us thinking about what we're going to lose, we have to begin thinking about from the new perspective with a new mindset of who we need to be to get to 2 to 3 locations and what we're actually going to get. Because now what we focus on is what we want.
All right. So help me better understand what
fire! Let's go! Hey!
Exactly. What exactly is the NEPQ 2.0? 2.0, right? Where is mine? I wrote it down. Yeah, 2.0 is the one you suggested, right? Yeah. What exactly is it? That was actually like my main question that I'm still in confusion about. What exactly is the program?
So how you see sales is determined on how you see yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so NEPQ allows you to have a new methodology and more important, a new mindset to overcome yourself so you can overcome objections in others.
So
let me give you an example of it so it makes more sense now, right? Whatever objection that we tend to give or we tend to get is the objection we tend to give. And it's because that we haven't overcome it in ourselves. If somebody tells you an objection, you have to think about it. It's because you haven't overcome that objection in yourself, because you haven't put the prioritization, the importance of time over money yet. Because right now you've been in scarcity. So this is why I'm here to help you. This is why I help you out see it from a different perspective. When you actually focus on where you want to go and where you want to get, you realize that the value and time disappears. Why? Because now you're more focused on who you need to be to actually get the outcome of what you deserve to get. And that comes from a place of you understanding how to overcome that objection in yourself first. That's why we have these calls. So that way you can do that. Because you can ask someone to do something you haven't done yourself.
Yeah, right? No, exactly. Yeah.
So in the NEPQ methodology, what we do is we go through the connection.
That was all bullshit, okay? That made no fucking sense. The only reason he said all that was just to reframe, hey, buddy, your identity right now is an identity of scarcity, but if you want to get to where you want to go, you're going to need an identity of abundance. Like, he did not explain what was included in the program at all there.
Phase, how to actually connect with the prospect so it builds trust, how to actually turn the prospect into seeing you as a trusted advisor, someone who they want to do business with, versus, the average salesperson out there who's pushy.
Right.
Like me and you are overcoming your own objections as a business owner. Why? Because I'm coming from a place of where I've been, because I've been in your shoes. That's why I'm helping you out, right?
Exactly.
So the next part is that we go into the methodology of it. So you have your situation questions, which is figuring out what the prospect situation is. If you can't understand where they're at and what detailing they need, you can't really serve them best or help them out with it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now we then go into problem awareness. So how many other times has their car been dirty and they actually haven't gotten the detail to the level they want? And maybe that's caused them embarrassment, cars look dirty. They go to a kid's soccer game or whatever it may be, and the van looks kind of like a piece of shit. That's not good. So then we figure out the problem awareness of it. And then we go into solution awareness. Have you tried other detailing companies? So this allows you to be able to make the other competition disappear. So that way they begin seeing you as the person who they would rather do business with versus someone else.
Got it.
So they see your value. So that's how we get rid of that value or that price objection. You see how that works? That make more sense now?
Yes. So this is helping me understand. Yeah, this is answering better my question, which is like, what exactly is the program? And I know we touched base very lightly on it, and I understand that. But is this the program that I need, which is going to help me discover how to make a better, like, is that our primary focus? Is doing sales, is training myself how to, like you said, if I'm giving you the exact same objection that I'm getting from others.
You tell me this, brother. If you have something that allows you to overcome the value of your value-based objection and your price objection and go from a 43% close rate to a 60% close rate.
Notice how Danny just referenced his notes, because in the problem section that Mikey mentioned earlier that you would write down as the remote closer, he mentioned that this guy, the reason his buyers don't buy is because the price is too high or the prospect doesn't see the value. And Danny is saying we're going to solve that in our program. So again, you're taking notes so that you can bring it back later.
Value-based objection and your price objection and go from a 43% close rate to a 60% close rate. Is that something that would help you? Do you think that serves your purpose of what you're looking to do, what you want to get?
Duh.
Yes. Yep.
So then yes, I would answer your question with that.
Okay.
Fuck yeah, buy it.
That make more sense?
That's it. Let's go.
Yes,
That's all I need to know. Buy it.
you feel like this is something that could be the answer for you?
Yes,
I think so. I know so.
I know so.
I know this is what we need in order to have a better sales process.
you sure?
Yes.
I am sure. I have to trust you, not only, like not only the reviews, not only what I saw on social
I tell
media.
you a story.
Sure.
All right. So and I totally get it, because in the online world you see a bunch of stuff online, you see reviews, you see a bunch of stuff, right? So I totally get it. When I met Jeremy, I was 21. And how old are you, Mikey?
34.
You're 34, right? So when I met Jeremy, I was 21, and I was you look young, by the way. You actually look really young.
Yeah, most people say like 25.
Yeah, I know you look really good, actually. Holy shit. But
Take me out first, bro.
yeah, I know. I was about to say, hold on, though. But when I met Jeremy, though, I was broke, and I was 21 years old. I was broke as a joke, and I had literally nothing. I had nothing to my name. I just moved out of my apartment in New Orleans, and so I saw a video with Jeremy on YouTube, and he's the only guy I knew that I just, how sometimes you get a gut feeling about something where like you have to do something, you don't know why, but you just get a gut feeling instantaneously now where it's like, okay, I have to do this, and there's just like this level of certainty in you. And when I watched Jeremy's videos, something in my head just said to myself, okay, you're safe, it's comfortable, this is going to do it, just go for it. And now in my mind, I said to myself, okay, yeah, let's go, let's do it. And when I met Jeremy, I got on a call with the CEO at the time, which is Matt Ryder of this company. And this was
He's fucking still framing him. I said go for it, let's do it. I said buy. I said yes. I said objection is no issue. I said abundance. I said yes.
It was like when they were first starting, and Jeremy just started 7th level. And man, I was so scared because I only had $5,000, and Matt said that I should go in the inner circle because I've already done so much other training at the time, and I was an online sales rep, and I was fucking terrified. I only had $5K, and the first payment was $5K, and I had no money for the next month. I had no money. Like, it almost makes me like, I cried a little bit on the call when I did it because I was terrified, but I was more afraid of not becoming all that I can be. And I didn't want to have any more objections. I didn't want to have calls that I lost. I didn't want to have deals that I lost. I hated people not seeing the value in me and what I was bringing to the table. It frustrated me because I knew I was number one in my own head. And I knew people not seeing that really made me upset, pissed me off. So
this whole story is just Danny framing himself as the ideal person that Mikey should be like. And what Danny went through is I spent my very last dollar, and I was on the edge of crying to buy this program, because that is what is needed for success. And look where I am now. I did an 8-figure company, and I'm super successful, and it's just like, this is the price of admission.
When I first went in that program, Mikey and I bought it. Now I was in this mindset where I was all in because I had to be. Because I put myself in the best position to be all in. That's why when I share with you, or I tell you, hey man, you got to do something differently to get a different result, so you can be all that you can be to get where you want to go. Right? Because I come from a place where I've been in your shoes, in a much worse spot. I'll tell you about it, man, a much worse spot. So that's why I recommend, like, if sales is it, like, this is where to go.
Is everything that we've done on this call part of something that I'm going to learn in the training?
Yes, a lot of.
I mean, like, I can like in my head, I can see the things that we've talked about and the way that the conversation has gone versus the way that I probably or may have handled the conversation. Like I can pick up cues and things of specific things that you've said that I probably wouldn't have said, but I see why you're doing it, because it's getting me to think about what am I holding back about, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole goal of the conversation of getting the sale, getting the idea, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty much what we're doing is, like, you're helping me learn. This is what I need to move. Why aren't I doing it? It's exactly what I want to be able to do with my customers, right? To get them to see why they need the service
that's why I say
in their own head.
That's why I say
I came up with the idea that it's that I know I need it, and the only thing holding me back is me, right? Yeah. I have identified that for sure. So what I would say is that, yes, I'm going to sign up. Yes, I want to do it. Where do I sign up?
All right, brother, let's do this. Let me share my screens with you. Let's pull this out.
Let's go! And there you go. That was an hour call from start to finish.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. Now, if you are looking to get started in this industry, if you go to the first link in the bio, I have a 30-day guide on how you can get hired, placed, and paid as a appointment setter, which is a role just below Danny's here. It's a little less stress. And again, as little as 30 days. It's completely free. All you gotta do is put in your email, and then it'll be downloaded into your inbox. Thank you again for watching the video, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.